Welcome back to New Game Plus TV on Tour. I'm Jack, and in this episode, we're heading back to Japan. We're going to go to the Independent Games Festival Bitsummit, which is in its 13th iteration. The theme for this year's show is Summer of Yokai. I don't totally know what that is right now, but I hope to find out through the course of this episode, and I'm going to speak with some of the developers who are showing off their games at the show. Before we get there, though, we're going to head to Tokyo, where B is for their first trip to Japan, and they explore a bit of Akihabara, which is loosely known as Electric Town, but has a lot of gaming and technology and pop culture stores. So let's go and see what's on offer.
Welcome to New Game Plus. It's me. This is my first time in Japan. I still can't believe it. It's a lot, and I am so excited to find anime figurines, to look at the games, to just see the levels upon levels of stuff. So I don't know. Let's go. Kyoto is like 9 floors, and it's everything. It's a JB Hi-Fi with a Toys R Us and a JB Hi-Fi home. Not just like the games and stuff, just like the kettles and the washing machines and all that stuff. It's a lot. But the cool thing is you can skip through floors that you don't need. Like, I don't need to go through the washer dryer to get to the Nintendo if I don't want to. Oh my god, the amount of fan stuff, or not even fan stuff, just the amount of like merchandise that you can get is amazing. All the Nintendo stuff, just all the anime, and even like card games as well. Gunpla, hey, you like trains? We got trains there as well. It's just a really big nerd store, and I enjoyed it. It's weirdly enough not super overstimulating, but I think the song was getting to me. The dun, 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 dun. Yeah, see, that was getting to me more than Donkey, honestly. The Donkey Yode song, maybe because they weren't blasting it. Yeah, what did I get? I mean, look, am I gonna get a Beatles gashapon for my dad? Absolutely. Am I gonna get some Windbreaker stuff because I'm a weeb? Yes, I love my fighting boys. Am I gonna get Lord Kana cards because they're in Japanese? Sure, why not? Can I read them? No, but they're cute. Yeah, I could spend more time there is the problem. I could buy more things, and it's beautiful and amazing, and I will be there. Oh god. Of course, Super Potato. Retro games in the tiniest spot you can imagine. It's basically 3 apartments, Japanese apartments full of games and retro games, and I didn't realize how beautiful the spines of Japanese games were. And it was really cool to see the different types of things that were there. They had really cool like Game & Watches, and it's not just thrown out really cheap.
Is this right?
$20.
Tell me how you feel about American accents.
No, and it's not just like really cheap, like $10 games that like may or may not work. These are like hundreds of dollars, Game & Watches, and like really rare games, and it's just really cool to see some of the ways that they display them as well. Consoles, and yeah, it's a cute place to just visit. Just to see what's up. Good luck. It's very dangerous if you love any sort of anime. I want all of them, and then you can't get one figurine, you have to get 2 because they're going to get lonely. They've got a good range of stuff, mostly Good Smile, figure arts as well. I'm not sure what the price is. I think they're fine, but overall, it's just really nicely displayed, nice and air conditioned as well, and I don't know, it's just like so brightly lit that it's just so easy to see your favorites and just cry about them, and like very plainly see the prices and just cry about them and go, how much room in the suitcase do I have? So that is my conundrum, my problem at the moment, and I really like it. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. It's so hard to put into words, level upon level of just things and stuff, and you get to go to level upon level because I don't know, other than shopping centers, like I'm just so used to one level done. Anyway, just even though the spaces are small, they're all curated in a way that makes it feel intentional, which is great. And there's so much to see, so many people. Am I overwhelmed? Yes. Have I been training for this by going to Disney for a few years? Absolutely. Is there a language barrier? Yeah, kind of. They're pretty okay with me not speaking any Japanese because I am a horrible gaijin. But yeah, I will be coming back for figurines to fill out my suitcase. This is just a scouting mission. I'm coming back. I'm going to fill up my suitcase with so many boys' figurines, and I'm overwhelmed, but like in the best way possible. And I'm just so excited that this is my first time in Japan. So yeah.
G'day friends, here at Bitsummit 2025. I forget what this one was called. It was Drift last year and it was something else the year before that, Let's Go, but I think it was Summer of Yokai. Gonna figure out what that means later on, but I'm standing here next to Jake, the CEO of 17-Bit. I've just been playing a little bit of Awaysis. Jake, tell the good people, what is Awaysis?
So Awaysis is our latest game. We've been around for about 16 years. This game is something that's been very near and dear to my heart, from wanting to do for a long time. We were waiting until the tech was kind of ready to go. It sort of looks like kind of a classic sort of dungeon crawler. We're calling it a dungeon brawler. But it's basically kind of a really bold new take on how to take physics-based gameplay and marry that with really kind of responsive, arcadey kind of controls. So most physics games are super fun. They're way more dynamic and emergent and interesting, I think, than games that are full of like completely canned animations and canned responses and stuff like that. But they tend to feel kind of goopy and heavy, and I love the excitement of those games, but I love the control of a really good classic arcade games. And I grew up playing the old Capcom games, old kind of classic brawlers and stuff like that. So you wanted to take physics magic with kind of arcade magic and do this kind of hybrid approach for something that everybody can play. It's got scalable difficulty, and it's really something that's meant to be awesome single player, because I'm a big single player gamer, but like also all the way up to 4 players together, online and off, all the different consoles against each other. It's a big deal for us, and yeah, we're very happy with it. Today's our first playable, and it's kind of a big deal. People seem to be really enjoying it. So
I certainly did. It felt very much like, and I hope it's not a little bit rude to say this, but it felt like playing like an Xbox Live Arcade game sort of on 360. That sort of like competitive, cooperative kind of balance. But I think the thing that you said there around sort of you needed to wait for the tech to be at the level that it needed to be. I guess talk to me a little bit about the challenges of working with tech that is this new, and I guess kind of how you've built the world that looks and feels quite unique.
This the energy behind this was really this, again, the kind of the physical response. Like I wanted something that felt heavy and dynamic. Like we play a lot of RC cars and stuff at the studio, and we love that kind of physicality. So I mean, really the high pitch of this was kind of Castle Crashers, like you said, the XBLA generation of that kind of 4-player magical stuff, mixed with something like Gang Beasts. So if you kind of took those two games and kind of mashed them together, that's probably the closest short version of the description I have. Also, Zelda 4 Swords is a huge thing for us. We love that game. So we call it co-opetition. It's basically you're on the same team, you're having a good time, but you are competing over resources. So there's like rare kind of upgrade gems that you can take back to town between missions and upgrade your gear. So it breaks down to this really kind of pretty nasty brawls with your friends. You don't do damage, but you can hit each other, and whenever you hit them, they sort of drop their upgrade. And it takes you a moment to kind of process the upgrade. So yeah, it's just this kind of really arcadey, brawly, fun for everybody, kind of sit down and play. Like we love the couch co-op. Like it's so great to be able to sit down and play with each other. I think our last game was a survival horror game in VR during COVID.
Maybe the most different thing you could have to this.
And we were working from home. We were working in this solitary, kind of really dark. I mean, it's beautiful world. It was really cool stuff, but it was kind of this dark, heavy thing. And I was like, all right, next game, I want something full of rainbows and colors and happiness and light, and I want to bring people together and I want people to laugh. And we do. We test it at the studio all the time, and we're just laughing. We're laughing, we're screaming. I'm like, this is what I wanted. I want to bring people together. I want to be able to play on the couch and hang out with my friends, but I also want to be able to play online with anybody I can, and we've kind of pulled it all off. The physics stuff, like I said, we're using Unreal Engine, but Unreal Engine doesn't really do a lot of the type of physics that we wanted to do. We wanted to do more player-based physics, not just ragdoll and stuff like that, but like really like the world is physical, the sword is a physical object, they're simulated objects. So there's a big, deep relationship between the swords and them clanging off each other, deflecting, blocking. We have this physical block system with the right stick, which we call the block-on system. Basically, it took a long time, and we had to get a bunch of custom stuff going. We basically have built a bunch of our own custom physics tech just for this game. So it is unlike anything else that's out there that we know of. Like it's kind of a hybrid in a way that that I haven't seen done before, I'm not aware of, and we've worked really hard at.
Well, I was going to say, you mentioned Four Swords in there, and it was very interesting for me playing as well, because that's Four Swords, for people who aren't aware, is a sort of Game Boy Advance plug into the GameCube sort of co-op experience. The one that my mind went to was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which also has that sort of like cooperative, competitive kind of thing about it. So it definitely feels like that. I guess the last question I have is, you've spoken a little bit about some of the people you've worked with in France, in Japan. Obviously, 17-bit is based sort of around Kyoto, I believe. What has the sort of experience been like working on the game sort of up until this point? And I guess, what does it look like between now and launch? When might that be?
We're targeting early next year. It's been a long project. We're kind of coming around the bend. We've also been working with the legendary musician, Chip Tanaka, who is, he kind of did the soundtracks to my childhood. He did, I was kind of growing up during the original Nintendo years, playing a lot with my brother, like Metroid, Kid Icarus, Excite Bike, Balloon Fight. A lot of these games that we were playing multiplayer as a kid, he did the soundtrack to all those. And so working with him has been fantastic. And it's just this kind of superhero crew of external people partnering up with the internal guys. We're over the hump now. Like, there was a lot of questions how this was going to work. Was it going to work? We're taking a lot of risks. We're taking a lot of chances, and it's been kind of a gamble. But we're over the hump now. We're like, everything's working. People are loving it. We're having a great time. And so now it's really just kind of finishing up everything and tightening up everything, and then looking for launch early next year. And it's something we really are happy with. We've worked really hard to get it to where it's at now. And so we're hoping to just kind of continue working in this franchise and working with this world and these characters far into the future, and kind of taking this physics stuff as far as we can. And it's something that you can see the video of and kind of think you get an idea of it, but you kind of need to play it and really understand kind of how everything has that real weight, like the inertia, the momentum, the physicality of knocking each other in the air and bouncing each other around. Like, there's a real unique aspect to this game that I think you're not seeing in a lot of other games that are more, kind of traditionally built up. So, yeah, please do come check it out. We'll have a demo, up before we launch, so keep your eyes peeled, and yeah.
I was going to say, so early 2026, you're saying sort of roughly launch. Where are people going to be able to play it?
Right now, we are definitely going to be coming out on Xbox, on PC, probably Steam and the Epic Game Store, as well as PlayStation 5. And then hopefully Nintendo too. So we got to work a bit more on that, but I'm thinking it's probably going to work out. So
I was going to say that's
everywhere.
I was going to say that's a lot of platforms. So best of luck getting through all of that cert, because it's not a small amount. Jake, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck for the rest of Bitsummit.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
G'day friends, here at Bitsummit 2025. It is the Summer of Yokai, allegedly. I'm going to figure out what that means at some point or another. And I'm here with Lauren from Noodle Cat Games. I played a little bit of Cloudheim earlier. I guess for the good people watching, tell me, what is Cloudheim? And I guess what the reception's been at Bitsummit so far.
So Cloudheim is a brand new upcoming game from our studio. We've been working on it for about 3 years. The story takes place after Ragnarok. The world has been shattered, and you are tasked with rebuilding the world. And you've been awoken by one of the gods who also found a new pantheon. You'll do this by playing through and exploring new areas like islands and dungeons, and collecting lots of loot and taking them back to your base on Odinshell, which is a flying turtle in the sky, where you will run a cozy shop selling to people from around the realms. It is super fun to play, and it's multiplayer as well, which is really great. The combat is physics-based, so it kind of takes a lot of inspiration from Streets of Rage and Street Fighter, which is kind of unusual for a cozy game. And it's really great. The reception here has been awesome. So I've never been to Bitsummit before, so I didn't really know what to expect. And the people are just so lovely, and the fans are really great. And they've had so much fun playing our game, and it's been a really good time.
The game is in open beta. What does the path to here look like as far as development's concerned? And I guess where do you go from here? Another open beta, release down the track, kind of where have we come from and where are we going?
Right, so about 3 years of development. We started doing closed betas this summer with smaller testing groups as we expanded. And so the open beta is the first time we've kind of unleashed it into the wild, which has been really fun to see all the reactions. From here, we plan to release within the next year. So we definitely would love to do more open betas. Definitely will be joining Steam Next Fest at some point. We'll have a big presence at Gamescom as well, so we'll have 2 booths there, which will be really fun to let people kind of get more hands-on with the game and have a little bit more hands-on experience with the team as well. But it's gonna be a really fast road to launch.
And I mean, that's not a small amount of event work to kind of do as well.
I'll quickly speak a little bit about the combat because I really enjoyed it, and I think you spoke a bit about, I guess, the sort of Streets of Rage influence there, but also we were speaking about the, I guess, lack of like waiting on like mana like to be able to use abilities. Speak a little bit about the approaching how abilities work in Cloudheim.
Right. So one thing that happens a lot with RPGs and action games is that because of the cooldown timers that you have on abilities, you kind of get into a same rotation. So, I'm going to this fight, I'm going to use this ability first because it has a longer cooldown, and I use the exact same attack pattern every time. And we really wanted to change that up. So instead of having a cooldown timer, every single skill has a charge, and you have a set number of charges for each skill. And if you want to use that, when you don't have any charges left, it builds up a mana burn bar. And if you build it up too far, you get mana burn, of course, and you can't do anything. And so what this allows you to do is be extremely reactive with what you're doing. We wanted it to be so that if you press a button, you can do a skill. I want to do this, I can do it. Rather than having to like watch the cooldown timers and hit a button and nothing happens. It's especially great when you're in multiplayer because it gets very chaotic, pinballing enemies between you and all of your friends. And so removing all of the cooldown timers really speeds up the pace of action.
Now, we're here at day 3 of Bitsummit. I believe this has been your first trip to Japan. What has it been like here at Bitsummit? Not only is your first time in Japan, but also coming from outside of the games industry. Your background was in the music industry, I understand, before your work with Cloudheim. How has that kind of changed how you have approached this event and the work that you're doing?
I will say one thing that was interesting to me is the time of the event, because it runs from 10 to 5 p.m., which is really great coming from the music festival world where it goes from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m., which has been really wonderful. But I think one thing that I don't want to say surprised me, but I didn't really have expectations going to this, is just how kind and friendly everyone is. I really was kind of shocked by that, just because every single time you meet someone, they are excited to know about your game and excited to hear about what you do, no matter what kind of game it is, no matter who you're talking to, and it's been really refreshing. And it's just something, I don't know, I didn't have expectations going in, but it really is just nice and very welcoming. Especially, going in as my first gaming event, I don't really know a lot of people. We just met. And here we are. But I really wasn't sure if it would be easy to meet new people, easy to network, etc. And it has been way more than I expected, which is great. And, I would say I've met several other people who are breaking into the games industry now, and they have been able to meet so many people and make so many connections here, which is so important, especially for our game, but for the trajectory of your own career, etc. And so I think it's a really great event for that.
I guess on Cloudheim, as of Bitsummit, we're in open beta. If people want to find out more, where can they go and where can they hope to see Cloudheim down the track? I guess releasing on which platforms?
Right, so we will be releasing on Steam, Epic, PlayStation, and Xbox, so a lot of places. You can go to our website, noodlecatgames.com or cloudheimgame.com. You can find us on store pages, social media, etc. Please come check out our game. It's really fun. I think people really like it.
I very much did. Lauren, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, Chris. Hello. We're at Bitsummit 2025. We've been calling it the Summer of Yokai, and we've discovered what yokai are, I think.
Well, kinda. We've been looking. I've been searching. I've been gone deep into the darkest web.
You've been doing your own research.
Here's my research. Months of research went into this. Yeah. Minutes of typing. Yeah. Yokai. This is the Summer of Yokai. Bitsummit 13, the Summer of Yokai, is a yokai are a class of supernatural entities and spirits of Japanese folklore. The kanji representation of the word yokai comprises of 2 characters that both mean suspicious and doubtful. So this is the Summer of suspicion and doubt. What do you think?
I don't know that I'm feeling a lot of suspicion and doubt. I'm just feeling very happy to be here. It's been a very, very good show so far. It's still pretty hot and humid and more pretty sweaty when we're outside, but at least it's well air conditioned inside. Chris, you're here from, originally Brisbane. We'll get back to that. But you are a game developer currently living in, what's Flemish? Not Flemish. What's the place called?
Flanders, Belgium. I live in Ghent, a small little city in Flanders, in Belgium. Yeah. And from Brisbane, moved to Ghent, living in Ghent now since... I don't know who was in power, Premier Beattie, So I've been trying to keep up to date with Brisbane politics. But yeah, Premo Beatty was my boy.
And then we had Captain Bligh. Yeah, all the rest of it. Anyway, you are currently a dev in Belgium, in Ghent, and you're here with Curiosmos.
That's right.
What is Curiosmos?
Curiosmos is a cute little space sim where you make a lonely little sun a little less lonely by making a solar system, planets, life, and all the rest. So it's a cute game to make yourself feel cozy and discover the weird, wonderful world of the universe.
How do you make it so that you are introduced to nerdy stuff, but then make it feel nice and cozy? Like, how do you make it educational, but like chill?
So for me, making games is not about education or understanding. It's about fun.
But I mean, there is definitely an aspect of like, I want to be nerdy about space.
Of course. Yeah. At my core, at my foundational core, I am a nerd.
Yeah.
Wrapped in another layer of nerd, wrapped in another layer of nerd, wrapped in a sweaty old man. Okay. Right? So that's who I am. And I will always be that person. But the one thing that nerd, the inner core nerd, which is this dweeb little dude, he just loves to have fun, right? Okay. And so I love to explore, love to find weird things. And my team, headed by Celine, Robin, and Guillaume, we just found this way of just making cute little mechanics to just poke and prod and feel and touch and just throw and use those weird mechanics to discover nerdy things like making planets, making a weather system, but all based around play. So it's not about explaining them, it's about playing and then discovering. And so like one of the things in Curiosmos is about like making an atmosphere. And so to do that, you have to bring water back to the planet and throw these little water particles, and it's all about just quite violently throwing rocks of ice on a planet, and the planet sometimes goes Wah! And reacts and it gets angry, but you just keep on throwing because it's fun to play. It's fun to throw water balloons, right? And this game is built around that joy of throwing water balloons at a park at your friends, and then learning that when the water balloon goes pop, it explodes water everywhere. Gases come out, and especially if you throw it real fast into a volcano, gases evaporate. And so this game is built around the discovery of what happens when thing does thing to a big thing.
How do you make it feel good?
It's all about very, very careful attention to mechanics. So really, 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 like the amount of time and energy that I know Robin put into making those volcanoes feel fun when they start erupting, blah, and all of a sudden the lava spits out. How do you make it fun? Is just hours and hours and hours of iteration and poking around until it feels good, and then giving it to your team, and then go, doesn't feel good, and then you're like,
let's do it again.
And then you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, and then you have to take a week off because you're sick of your teammates going, and then you just do it again.
How do people feel about the game at Bitsummit?
It's been really, really fun to watch. This is our first ever localized version, so we've never done it outside of. We've taken it to a bunch of events in Germany, in UK, and Belgium and Netherlands, but never outside of our little Euro bubble. Sure. And so we've taken it for the first time to Japan, and we're just watching people connecting with it. We have localized it in Japanese, so it's very little text. But the little text that you get, it's a bit silly, a little bit crazy, and seeing our translator do that crazy banter in the way that makes people connect. We've seen a lot of giggling, and it's been really joyful to watch most players get to the end of our little demo, and mostly getting pretty good feedback.
If people want to know more about Curiosmos, where do they go, and when will it come out, and where will it be?
So you can head to curiosmos.space. That's CURIOUS.SPACE, and you'll put that down in the.
I'll put it exactly where your fingers were.
Yeah, because this is being broadcast on television. So you just click your television.
Don't do that.
Just tap it, because that works in Australia now, right?
No.
So curiosmos.space, you can go there. It's coming out hopefully later in the year. We don't have a fixed date yet, but we're aiming for 2025 on a nice, beautiful summer's day, I guess, in Australia.
Sure.
I don't know. Sometime at the end of the year, and we hope to share that game with you and our love of the universe.
Incredible. Chris, thank you very much for your time.
Jack, it's been a pleasure. Let's go to Bitsummit.
Let's go back inside. Yeah.